Hey everybody, it's Dan with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be thought watching. And before I do that, I just wanted to show you all the greenery behind me. I'm loving the springtime. I'm out here in just a flannel shirt. It's a little chilly, but not bad. So before we start, do a little breathing. I used to say, like, breathe in the confidence, breathe out the fear, and somebody said, well, don't you always say, you know, the brain doesn't understand negative instructions? So, I don't know. Let's just try to breathe in the confidence, breathe in the smiles, breathe in the knowledge, breathe in the acceptance, right? So let's take a deep breath. Breathe in the state that you want to be in. Breathe in the joy. Breathe in the calm. Breathe in the peace. So, thought watching. What the heck is that? I've never been good at meditation. I was always too judgy about how well I was doing it. And I was trying to figure out how to do it well. And I would kind of judge myself because, you know, my perception was that I needed a still mind and a quiet mind in order to do it. And I would try to focus on my breathing, and I never really got comfortable with it. And I never, as a result, because I was always judging that I was doing it wrong, I never kind of felt like I was doing it right, and therefore I wasn't getting any benefit out of it. I mean, I probably got some soothing out of it because sitting quietly and breathing comfortably has to be good for turning your nervous system down, but I never got good at it. And as a result, through many of these videos, I've never been a huge proponent of recommending or even teaching meditation. And one of the videos is meditation required? And my answer was no, because my experiments with meditation were long before I got better, and it was not a component of me ending my symptoms, right? That's not the tool I used to get better. So I don't think meditation is required. But I also talk a lot about we don't have to believe our thoughts. We don't have to put so much value and significance on our thoughts. And so this concept was introduced to me by a friend of mine who wrote a book. He had MS and bipolar, and he was able to reverse those diagnoses through meditation. But what he did, what he explained was, for 5 minutes, once or twice a day, he would do thought watching. And it is nothing more than simply doing what it sounds like, which is sitting quietly, breathing comfortably, eyes closed, and just literally observing the thoughts as they drift through your mind. And how he explained it was that by just learning to watch the thoughts with no reaction, with no needed action to be taken, without identifying ourselves as those thoughts, without becoming those thoughts, without judging ourselves as an awful person because I just had that thought, but simply through the daily practice of 5 minutes or more, if you're enjoying it and find you've got the time, but 5 minutes once or twice a day of just watching your thoughts go by. Watch with fascination. Detach from them, right? They don't define you. Thoughts are just thoughts. They mean nothing. And we can have some of the craziest thoughts, but we can also have some of the most loving and wise thoughts. So the concept is not to judge or evaluate our thinking. It's simply to observe, and by doing so as a regular daily practice, you almost called it like taking a brain shower. Like literally you just wash all of these preconceived judgments and fears and beliefs about ourselves, and you know that come from our thinking, and just kind of shower them away, which is kind of an interesting visual. But thought watching, it can be part of your soothing process. And when I say soothing, I mean soothe your nervous system and body physiologically with some deep breathing, some relaxation, sitting outside, maybe getting a little bit of sunshine. It's behind the clouds today. But soothing is also soothing our mind, calming down our thinking. And a good way to do that is this thought watching. And so if you're the one, the type of person who kind of struggles with meditation, I know I used to get myself stressed out searching for the perfect guided meditation, and I would spend hours looking for the perfect guided meditation and getting more and more stressed out that I wasn't finding the right one. And so that was anything but soothing. It was actually adding more stress and pressure to myself to find the perfect guided meditation. And those are very useful and can be very valuable. I personally didn't resonate with that too much, but when I heard about this and I read about it in my friend's book, the concept of just watching our thoughts becomes really quite soothing, because again, when you are watching something, you are not those things. So if you are watching your thoughts, you are not your thoughts. When we go through life on a regular basis, we've got our thoughts and stories and our feelings, and thoughts and feelings are almost always intertwined, right? You have a thought, it creates a feeling, or you have a feeling and it creates more thoughts. And those things are often very much intertwined. So it's very useful sometimes, I believe, to kind of detach from our thinking and just observe it, watch it. And so what you will find is that when you do this, you're going to meet your inner roommate. Your inner roommate is that inner voice that chatters at you all day long. That doesn't make us crazy, right? I have voices in my head. Yeah, what? We all do. It's called the inner roommate. It's called, the brain. It's just constantly thinking and speaking to ourselves. And what are you doing that for? That was stupid. Or, wow, that was great. And I really love sitting out here, listening to the wind go through the leaves of the trees, some birds off in the distance, right? These are kind of some of the inner thoughts when you get into a nice, soothing, relaxing environment. But if you're all stressed out, the inner voice and that inner roommate can be pretty abrasive, right? So again, I like the thought watching because it's kind of like people watching at the mall. Back when we used to go to the mall. People watching. You didn't identify yourselves as, the person you were watching, and you'll kind of chuckle to yourself and say, boy, there's really some interesting people here. But you didn't really identify with that, or, it didn't impact you. And so I'd love for everybody, including myself, to get to that level of detachment from our thoughts, because they really are harmless. They're very safe. I always say emotions are safe, thoughts are safe. But so many people get so hung up on the fact that I had this negative thought because I did. I'm not supposed to, because that goes against the suggestions that Dan or other TMS experts have, that I'm never going to get better. So I'm screwed up because I can't control my thoughts. Well, like I've said before, you don't have to believe your thoughts. And you don't have to judge yourself based on having a thought. As I've always said, we have like 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. A vast majority of them are meaningless. Where did I put my glasses? Meaningless. There's no attachment to that. So why is that any less meaningless than, why am I such a loser? Why can't I figure this out? Right? That's also just a thought. It has zero meaning. It's just a thought. We don't have to identify with it. And I do believe that, yes, thought watching is a really nice way to learn to not take our thoughts so seriously. But I also believe that we have some conscious will. And if you find yourself, and I talk about awareness and decision a lot, awareness is, throughout the rest of your day when you're not doing a practice of feeling emotions or soothing yourself, throughout the rest of your day, if you become aware of the fact that your thinking is going down a negative path, with that awareness we can decide and say, no, I'm going to actually shift my focus to gratitude, to something that brings me joy or peace or love or connection. Or I'm going to just shift my focus to something I want to do that I enjoy. Or connecting with somebody else, picking up the phone, calling somebody. Not to talk about your pain, but just to connect. Hear about their life. See what's going on. And so, thought watching. I think that's pretty much all I've got on it. Try it. Spend 5 minutes sitting quietly, breathing comfortably at your own pace. This is not meditation, but all you're going to do is watch your thoughts. Your first thought's probably going to be something along the lines of, this is really weird. Okay, well that was a thought. All right. Am I comfortable? Yeah, my back's probably hurting, or, what are my symptoms? Interesting. But you just watch the thoughts. Then you may find those thoughts drifting. How's my mom doing? Or what's going on with my sister? Or, whatever it may be. Wherever they wander to, be okay with it. No judgment, no action needed. And just kind of really become fascinated with where the mind will go. And again, the detachment from our thinking allows us to remove a lot of the judgment. And so if you practice doing this once or twice a day for 5 minutes, you may really find that you take yourself less seriously, you take your thinking less seriously, and because we're always feeling our thinking, it's going to be very useful for you to just detach like that and say, all right, that was just a thought, no big deal. And sometimes this thought watching will sometimes bring up brilliant ideas, or about, an idea for a job or a business, or a personal relationship with somebody and how you can make that better, or whatever. So all sorts of goodness can come out of this process if you just observe and watch your thoughts. So give thought watching a try, see what you think, and please comment below after you've tried it. So we'll talk to you guys later, guys and gals, and love you. Bye.